Alright, let's go. Number 10. Time might run backwards, and in 2026, scientists proved it. For centuries, one rule seemed absolute. Time moves forward. Cause comes before effect. The past is fixed, the future is open, and nothing can travel from one to the other in reverse. It was the one certainty underneath all of physics. Then, in 2026, a team of quantum physicists at the University of Toronto published a result in Physical Review Letters that broke that certainty. They fired photons, particles of light, through a cloud of chilled atoms, and they measured how long those photons spent inside. The answer, under certain conditions, was negative time. The photons appeared to exit the cloud before they had finished entering it, as if they spent a negative amount of time inside, as if for a brief moment the normal order of before and after simply broke down. Now, the scientists were careful. This does not mean you can send a message to the past. It does not mean time travel, but it does mean something profound. Negative time is not an illusion, not a trick of the measurement. It has a real, physical, measurable effect on the atoms the light passes through. The atoms themselves confirmed it, and that means the strict one-way flow of time that we take for granted is, at the quantum level, not as absolute as we believed. Time, the most fundamental thing in your experience, just did something it is not supposed to be able to do, and it did it in a laboratory, in front of witnesses, with the data to prove it. Number 9. Time does not exist in the equations of physics. Here is something that almost nobody outside of physics knows, and that is genuinely disturbing once you understand it. In the deepest, most fundamental equations that describe reality, time barely appears, and in some of them, it does not appear at all. Consider the laws of physics at the microscopic level. The equations that govern how particles interact, how forces work, how energy moves, almost all of them are time-symmetric. This means they work exactly the same whether time runs forward or backward. If you filmed a collision between two subatomic particles and played the film in reverse, it would still obey every law of physics perfectly. Nothing in the fundamental equation says which direction is forward. Think about how strange that is. Your entire life, your entire experience, is built on the difference between past and future. You remember the past. You cannot remember the future. You grow older, never younger, because always comes before effect. And yet, when physicists write down the deepest laws of the universe, that difference vanishes. The equations do not care about the direction of time. To the fundamental laws of physics, forward and backward are the same. So where does the arrow of time come from? Why do we experience time flowing in one direction, if the laws underneath do not? This is one of the deepest unsolved problems in all of physics, and the unsettling answer that many physicists now accept is that the forward flow of time may not be fundamental at all. It may be an illusion, a feature of our experience, not a feature of reality. Number 8. The only reason time seems to move is that everything is falling apart. If the fundamental laws of physics do not have a direction, then why does time seem to flow forward? Why do we age? Why does the past feel different from the future? The answer, as far as physics can tell, comes down to a single concept: entropy, disorder. There is one law of physics that does have a direction built into it. The second law of thermodynamics. It states that in any closed system, entropy, the amount of disorder, always increases over time. Hot things cool down. Ordered things fall apart. A cup shatters, but shattered pieces never spontaneously reassemble into a cup. This is the one and only place in physics where forward and backward are genuinely different. And here's the disturbing conclusion. Our entire sense of time flowing forward may come from nothing more than the increase of disorder in the universe. We remember the past and not the future, because the past was more ordered, and the future will be more disordered. The direction we call forward is simply the direction in which everything is decaying. In other words, time does not flow because of some cosmic clock. It flows because the universe is falling apart, and we happen to be riding along the slope of that decay. The arrow of time is not a fundamental feature of reality. It is the shadow cast by the universe, slowly, inevitably, running down toward disorder. Your sense that time is passing is, at its root, your perception of the universe dying. That is what the forward flow of time actually is. Number 7. The present moment does not exist. You feel like you are living in the present. Right now feels real, solid, special. The past is gone, the future has not happened, and now is the only moment that truly exists. This feeling is so powerful, so obvious, that questioning it seems absurd. But according to Einstein's theory of relativity, the present moment, the universal now, does not exist. Here is why. Relativity proved that time is not the same for everyone. It passes at different rates, depending on how fast you are moving and how strong the gravity is around you. Two people moving at different speeds will disagree about whether two events happened at the same time. There is no single, universal now that everyone shares. Your now and my now can be genuinely different, and both are equally valid. This has a staggering consequence. If there is no universal present moment, then the division of time into past, present, and future is not a real feature of the universe. It is just a feature of your particular point of view. For someone moving differently than you, what you call the future may already be their past. What you call now may not even have happened yet for them. Physicists have a name for the reality this implies. They call it the block universe, and it is one of the most disturbing ideas in all of science. Number 6. The block universe, where past and future already exist. If there is no universal now, and if every observer's sense of the present is equally valid, then physicists are led to a shocking conclusion about the nature of reality. The past, the present, and the future may all exist, equally, all at once. This is the block universe, and here is what it means. Instead of time flowing, with the past vanishing and the future not yet real, imagine the entire history of the universe as a single, solid, four-dimensional block. Every moment that has ever happened, and every moment that ever will happen, exists within this block, permanently, all at the same time. The Big Bang is there, the dinosaurs are there, your birth is there, this exact moment is there, your death is there, and the end of the universe is there. All of it, coexisting in a frozen, unchanging structure. In the block universe, nothing actually happens, nothing changes. The sense that time is flowing, that moments are passing, that the future is arriving, and the past is receding, is a complete illusion. It is like watching a film. The entire film already exists, every frame, from beginning to end, but as you watch it, frame by frame, it feels like things are happening in sequence. The block universe says reality is exactly like that. Every frame of your life already exists. You are just experiencing them one at a time, and mistaking that for the passage of time. This is not fringe philosophy. It is the mainstream interpretation of Einstein's relativity, taken seriously by many of the greatest physicists who have ever lived. Einstein himself seemed to believe it. After the death of his close friend, Michel Besso, Einstein wrote that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. If the block universe is real, then your future is already out there, fixed, existing right now. Everything you will ever do has, in a sense, already been done, and the feeling that you are choosing, moment by moment, moving freely into an open future, may be the greatest illusion of all. Number 5. Your clock and my clock can never agree. We have touched on time dilation, but it deserves its own place because it is not a theory. It is a proven, measured, experimental fact that shatters the idea of a single, universal time. Einstein proved that time passes at different rates for different observers. The faster you move, the slower your time passes relative to someone at rest. The stronger the gravity around you, the slower your time passes relative to someone far from it. This is not a trick of perception. It is real. Clocks physically tick at different rates. We have tested this thousands of times. Atomic clocks flown on airplanes come back slightly out of sync with clocks that stayed on the ground. The GPS satellites orbiting Earth experience time slightly faster than we do. And if we did not constantly correct for this difference, GPS navigation would fail within minutes. Time genuinely, measurably, passes at different speeds depending on where you are and how you move. Think about what this destroys. There is no master clock for the universe. There is no true, correct rate at which time passes. Your time is yours, my time is mine, and they are genuinely, physically different. Two twins, one who travels near the speed of light and one who stays home, will age by different amounts. The traveler could return to find their twin an old person, or long dead, while they themselves have aged only a few years. This has been confirmed experimentally with particles and clocks. Time is not a universal river carrying everyone along together. It is a personal, local, flexible thing, different for every observer, with no single correct version. The idea that we all share the same time, that a minute for me is a minute for you, is simply false. And once you accept that, the notion of a single, real, flowing time starts to fall apart completely. Number 4. The equation for the universe has no time in it at all. This is perhaps the most disturbing item on this list, and it comes from the frontier of physics, where scientists are trying to combine quantum mechanics with gravity into a single theory of everything. When physicists tried to write down the fundamental quantum equation for the entire universe, they produced something called the Wheeler-DeWitt equation. It is an attempt to describe the quantum state of the whole cosmos, and when they finished writing it, they noticed something horrifying. The equation has no time in it. Time simply does not appear. The variable for time, which shows up in nearly every other equation in physics, vanishes completely when you try to describe the universe as a whole. According to this equation, the universe, taken in its entirety, is timeless, static, frozen. It does not evolve. It does not change. It simply is. This is called the problem of time, and it is one of the deepest puzzles in theoretical physics. How can the universe be fundamentally timeless when everything we experience involves time passing? The leading answer is as strange as the equation itself. Time, according to this view, is not a fundamental part of the universe. It emerges. It appears only when you divide the universe into pieces and look at how one piece changes relative to another. In other words, time is not something the universe has. It is something that appears from the inside when a part of the universe, like you, observes another part, like a clock. The universe as a whole does not experience time. It is frozen, complete, timeless, and time only exists as a kind of illusion generated by observers trapped inside it. Number 3. Time might be made of tiny indivisible pixels. We think of time as smooth and continuous, flowing seamlessly from one moment to the next, infinitely divisible. You can always imagine a smaller slice of time, half a second, a hundredth of a second, a millionth, forever. But some of the most advanced theories in physics suggest this is wrong. They suggest that time may be pixelated, made of tiny, discrete, indivisible chunks. In theories like loop quantum gravity, space and time are not smooth at all. At the very smallest scale, a scale so small it is almost impossible to comprehend, called the Planck scale, time may come in individual units. There would be a smallest possible tick of time, a fundamental frame rate to reality, below which the concept of time simply has no meaning. You could not have half of one of these units, any more than you can have half of a single pixel on a screen. If this is true, then time is not a flowing river at all. It is a series of discrete frames, like a film made of individual still images, clicking past at the fastest possible rate. Reality would be, in the most literal sense, rendered frame by frame, and the smooth, continuous flow of time we experience would be an illusion created by the frames passing too quickly for us to notice the gaps. This raises a chilling question. If time comes in frames, then what happens between the frames? Is there a gap, a nothing? And if reality is rendered one frame at a time, then something or some process is generating those frames. The universe would be less like a continuous flowing thing and more like a computation, ticking forward one Planck unit at a time. It is one of the reasons some physicists take the simulation hypothesis seriously. A pixelated universe, rendered frame by frame, looks suspiciously like a program running. Number 2. Cause and effect may not be fundamental. Everything in your experience is built on cause and effect. You flip a switch, the light turns on. You drop a glass, it falls and breaks. The cause always comes first. The effect always follows. This order seems as fundamental as anything could be, but quantum mechanics has been quietly undermining it for decades. We have already talked about negative time and retrocausality, the hints that the future might influence the past at the quantum level. But it goes deeper. Physicists have now created quantum experiments in which the order of cause and effect becomes genuinely undefined. Situations where event A causes event B and event B causes event A at the same time, where there is no fact of the matter about which came first. This is called indefinite causal order, and it has been demonstrated in real experiments. In the quantum world, it is possible to create a situation where two events are each the cause of the other, where the neat, one-directional chain of cause and effect dissolves into something our minds cannot picture. Cause and effect, it turns out, may not be built into the universe. They may be large-scale approximations, useful for everyday life, but breaking down completely when you look closely enough. If cause and effect are not fundamental, then neither is the sequence of time they imply. The very structure that makes time feel like a chain of events, one leading to the next, may be an illusion that emerges only at our scale and disappears at the quantum level, where before and after lose their meaning entirely. Number 1. You may already have lived your entire life, and it is never changing. Everything on this list points toward a single, staggering conclusion, and it is one of the most unsettling ideas that modern physics has ever produced. Time may not be real, not in the way you think. The flow of time, the sense that moments are passing, that the future is arriving and the past is slipping away, may be a complete illusion, generated inside your mind, with no basis in the underlying reality. Put together everything we have seen, The fundamental equations have no direction of time. The universe as a whole is described by an equation with no time in it at all. There is no universal present moment. Past, present, and future may all exist together in a frozen block. And the flow we experience may be nothing more than our perception of increasing entropy, riding the slope of a decaying universe. If all of this is correct, then here is what it means for you. Your entire life, from birth to death, already exists, complete, in the block universe. Every moment you have ever lived, and every moment you ever will, is out there, fixed, permanent, unchanging. This moment, right now, as you listen to these words, is not passing. It is eternal. It has always existed and always will. You are not moving through time. You are a fixed feature of a timeless universe, experiencing your own existence one frozen frame at a time, and mistaking that experience for the passage of time. You have, in a sense, already lived your entire life. It is already complete. Your birth is still happening. Your death has already happened. And all of it exists, together, forever, in a universe where nothing truly changes, and nothing ever moves, and time itself is the last and greatest illusion. And that senior astronomer, the one some of you have asked me about, the one who allegedly said, off the record, that he wished we had never looked. When he said it, this was the deepest thing he meant. That once you truly understand what physics is telling us about time, you can never experience an ordinary moment the same way again, because you know, now, that the moment is not passing, that it is frozen, that it is eternal, and that you are living inside a structure so strange, so vast, and so still, that the flow of time you have trusted your entire life may be the most convincing illusion the universe has ever produced. We experience time as a river, but physics keeps telling us there is no river. There is only the frozen ocean of everything that ever was and ever will be, existing all at once, forever. And we are swimming through a stillness we have mistaken, our entire lives, for motion. If this video changed the way you experience this very moment, then you should know there are other ideas, other discoveries, that cut just as deep in